Hello. In this video, I'll demonstrate how to obtain characteristics of a NPN bipolar junction transistor being operated in common emitter mode using ORCAD's PSpice simulation tool. The circuit what I'm going to use to obtain the BJT characteristics is shown here. The circuit symbol of NPN BJT is this one. It has three terminals: base, emitter and collector. Since we are operating this BJT in common emitter mode, emitter terminal is common to both input side and the output side, and emitter is grounded. The input terminals are base and emitter, and the output terminals are collector and emitter. To obtain BJT characteristics, we need two voltage sources. One is VBE and another one is VCE. VBE is applied to the input terminals, that is between base and emitter, and VCE is applied between output terminals, that is collector and emitter. The input current is IB, that is entering base, and the output current is IC, that is entering through the collector terminal of the transistor. There are two types of BJT characteristics. One is base or input characteristics and another one is output or collector characteristics. To obtain base or input characteristics, what we do is we will apply a fixed voltage, a constant voltage to the output terminal. That means we will keep VCE to a constant voltage. Then we'll start varying VBE from 0. As the voltage, input voltage VBE increases, current will also increases after knee voltage, because in a NPN transistor, base emitter junction is nothing but a PN junction, and if this transistor is a silicon transistor, then the PN junction, base emitter junction, will have knee voltage around 0.7 volt. So till 0.7 volt, the base current will be close to 0, negligible, and after 0.7 volt the base current will increase exponentially. And we can repeat this experiment for different values of VCE to understand the effect of VCE on the input characteristics. Input characteristics is very much essential for us to know, because it tells us when the transistor is on. To obtain output or collector characteristics, what we do is we will fix VBE so that base current is also fixed, and we will increase VCE from 0 volt. As we increase VCE from 0 volt, the current will also increase very slightly, as you can see in this graph. And this experiment is repeated for different values of IBE. That means we will change VBE and then we will repeat the experiment. We will increase VCE from 0 to some maximum voltage, and we'll note down how collector current is increasing. As you can see here in the output characteristics, there are three regions. We have saturation region. Before a certain VCE, certain voltage VCE, before that voltage, the transistor is in the saturation region, and after VCE, the transistor enters active or linear region. We also have cutoff region. If IB is 0, then the transistor is off. No matter how much voltage you apply, the collector current will not flow. Because of this, the transistor is off, and that is known as cutoff region. So these are the three regions that we can identify in output or collector characteristics. Now let us see how to obtain these two characteristics in ORCAD PSpice simulation tool. Before I create a project in ORCAD PSpice, let me create a folder in which I will be creating the project. So I'll right click on new and I'll click on folder, and I'll give a name to this folder. I'll call it as BJT characteristics. And inside this folder, I will be creating my ORCAD PSpice project. And I should know the path where this particular folder is created. So I'll open up my ORCAD PSpice. So I'll go to start and I'll search for cadence. And inside this, I'll search for capture CIS Lite and click on that. So OrCAD Capture CIS Lite is opening, and once it is open, this is how it looks like. I don't want this start page, I'll just close it. Let me create a new project by going to File, selecting New and clicking on Project. I'll give a name to the project. I'll give name as BJT characteristics. Project type should be PSpice, analog or mixed A bar D. Do not select other project types. And for the location, I'll browse the folder which I created just now. So I've created that in my F drive, course files, electronic devices and BJT characteristics. I'll click on select folder and then I'll click on OK. Here I will select create a blank project. I do not want any template. I'll create it on my own. Select create a blank project and click on OK. This creates a new project and opens a sheet wherein I can enter my schematic. So I got the page, schematic page. First thing first, scroll to the bottom and to the rightmost corner. There is a title block. Please fill up the title block. To enter the title, I'll double click on title and I'll give title to my schematic. Since I'm extracting BJT characteristics, the apt title would be BJT characteristics. Click on OK. Then you can also enter document number. So I'll enter the document number as 1. Double click on doc, enter 1, click on OK. And this is the first time I'm creating this document, so I'll enter the revision code as 0.0a. This step is not mandatory, but it is a good practice to enter the details in the title block. And with respect to the document number and the revision number, it depends on the standards that you are following. This is the standard that I follow. Now I can enter the schematic in this page. I need a NPN BJT transistor and two independent voltage sources. To add the components, I'll go to the rightmost corner and click on place part. Here I'll have to select bipolar library that is available here. Sometimes this bipolar library will not be available here, so assume that it is not available. To add the bipolar library, all you have to do is click on add library and search for bipolar.olb. This is where it is. So I'll select this and click on open. Then the bipolar library is added to the list of libraries. Now you can select bipolar and you can select any NPN transistor. I will select Q2N2222 transistor. You can choose any other transistor. After all, this is an experiment. You can obtain characteristics of any NPN transistor. So I'll select this particular transistor and I'll just place it on my schematic. And then I'll click on escape. Now I have to place two DC voltage sources. So I'll select source library and then I'll search for VDC. So this is where VDC is present. I'll select VDC. I'll add two DC voltage sources. Hit escape key. So apart from this, I need one common ground. So your schematic should have at least one reference node, that is 0 volt reference node, otherwise simulation will not run. You will get compilation errors. So I'll select 0 bar capsim and I'll place it on my schematic. Using place wire option, I will connect all the components according to the circuit diagram. I'll rename the voltage sources just double click on the part reference or the reference designator and give the new reference designator. I'll call this as VBE, and I'll click on V1. I'll call this as VCE. So I'll enter VCE. Now we are ready to simulate. You don't have to worry about the different voltage values. You can leave it to 0 volt in both the DC voltage sources. Let us configure our simulation in such a way that these voltages are automatically applied. If you observe carefully, we can obtain input characteristics by varying VBE. So we shall vary VBE and note down what are the values of IB at a constant voltage VCE. Let us assume first we do it for VCE is equal to 1 volt, and then we will vary VBE, note down what is IB. Then we will change VCE to 10 volt. Again we will vary VBE and we will note down IB. We will repeat this for a different value of VCE. This is a repetitive process. We can automate this in our OrCAD PSpice. So let us create such a simulation profile. To create such a simulation profile, go to PSpice and click on New Simulation Profile. I'll give a name to this simulation profile. Name should be meaningful. So I'll give it as Input Characteristics. Click on Create. Okay. Here the analysis type must be DC sweep. So let us select DC sweep analysis. So what this analysis does is it sweeps the voltage or the current or any other parameter what I specify and automatically notes down the values of various circuit variables. So I'll select primary sweep variable. Please observe the variable which is on the x-axis is the primary sweep variable. If you can notice here VBE is on the x-axis. So this is our primary sweep variable. So I will enter VBE and start value is 0. End value I can go up to 1 volt because it's a silicon transistor. It will switch on at around 0.7 volt. So 1 volt is sufficient. There is no hard rule that you will have to go up to 1 volt only. You can go up to 1.52. You can experiment with different values as well. And what should be the increment? You can go in steps of 0.1 volt, or if you want a smoother curve, then you can go in steps of 0.01 volt or 0.001 volt. Again, there is no rule. So the PSpice will sweep the base to emitter voltage from 0 volt to 1 volt in steps of 0.01 volt each time. And for each of the values of VBE, all the circuit parameter values are noted down automatically. And this experiment must be repeated for different values of VCE. Please note that VCE must be kept constant for each sweep. So I'll select parametric sweep, and for the parametric sweep I will enter VCE as the sweep variable, and I will choose any 3 constant voltages for VCE. So if you want to enter the values of VCE manually, then you can click on value list and you can enter comma separated values. I want to do it for 1 volt, I want to do it for 5 volt, and I want to do it for 10 volt. Once again, there is no rule that you'll have to select these 3 voltages only. You can experiment. The purpose of obtaining characteristics is to know how BJT responds. This is very much important when we are designing biasing circuits, DC biasing circuits. So I'll click on apply, click on OK, then click on run PSpice. Simulation is complete. Simulation output window is opened, and the DC sweep analysis is run for three different values of VCE, that is 1 volt, 5 volt and 10 volt. So if we want to plot graphs for all these three runs, then select all three and click on OK. If you can observe here, the x-axis is voltage VBE, so that is swept from 0 to 1 volt as required. Y-axis we have to select what we want to plot. If you see the sample graph, y-axis is base current. So to plot the base current, you can right click on the graph and click on add trace, and please select IB of Q1. IB of Q1, click on OK, then the graphs will appear. Another simple way is, you without closing this output simulation output window, you can go back to schematic and you can select current marker. Click on current marker and place it, pin it to the base terminal. So whatever current is flowing here, that will be automatically plotted on the graph. So there are two ways of doing it. So pin it, automatically the graphs would have appeared here. And this is the input or base characteristics of the NPN BJT. And we have obtained three different graphs. One is green, another one is red and another one is blue, and all three are overlapping. Only above 1 volt there is some difference between blue and green. This shows that VCE has very little effect below 1 volt of VBE. But what is this green color graph representing, for which value of VCE? This blue line is representing for which value of VCE? We do not know. So that information is not readily available. You will have to get it from the PSpice. In order to get it, I'll select this blue color graph. I'll just right click on this and click on trace information. So that graph is for VCE is equal to 1 volt. Similarly, you can click on this green graph. It is not possible here. I'll show this in the output characteristics where graphs are very distinct. So this is the input characteristics. As you can see, above 0.7 current is rising. Let us obtain output characteristics. I'll close this. I'll not change the circuit. I don't want this current marker. I'll just delete it. I'll create a new simulation profile. I'll click on create new simulation profile. You can go to PSpice and click on new simulation profile, or you can click on this icon. Both are same. I'll give the name of the new simulation profile as collector characteristics or output characteristics. Click on create. Once again, this is going to be a DC sweep analysis. So select DC sweep. This time let us see what should be our primary sweep variable. If you can see the x-axis, it is VCE. VCE must be the primary sweep variable, and we will do it for different values of IB, but we cannot control IB directly, so we will do it for different values of VBE. So primary sweep variable is VCE. Let us start the sweep from 0. Let us go up to say 15 volt in steps of 0.01 volt each, and we shall do it for different values of VBE. We know that 0.7 volt from the input characteristic, 0.7 volt is the new voltage, so we will give few values closer to points in and near 0.7 volt. So I'll give one less than that, one exactly equal to that, one greater than that, 0.75, and another one I'll give 0.8. So all are comma separated values. So click on apply. Okay. The sweep variable is VBE. So for different values of VBE, VCE is swept and all the circuit parameter values are noted down. So click on OK. And this time please select output characteristics, because we have already created input characteristic simulation profile. Don't select that. Select output characteristics and click on run. Yes, it has simulated for all 4 values of VBE. So click on OK. As you can see, the x-axis variable is VCE. It is swept from 0 to 15 volts. However, it is showing 16. Okay, let us see what should be the y-axis. Y-axis should be IC. Let us add IC. So right click and click on add trace and select IC of Q1, or you can use current marker as shown in the input characteristic simulation. Click on OK. All 4 graphs are added. Now here I can clearly show you for what value of VBE this blue color graph is coming. It's very difficult to note down from this graph. So what I can do is just select this particular curve, right click and click on trace information. It shows that this is for VBE is equal to 0.75 volt. So I cannot always keep remembering, okay, blue color is for 0.75, yellow color is for 0.8 or something like that. So what I'll do is I can add a text label to it. So right click and add text label, and you can just type whatever you want. I will enter VBE is equal to 0.75 volt. Click on OK, then you can place it near this blue color line so that it is helpful for me to identify. Next, you can similarly right click on the yellow colored curve and obtain the trace information. Okay, this is for VBE is equal to 0.8 volt. I'll add a text label to it. Similarly, I'll add text labels to remaining 2 curves as well. Please note, in this graph you can identify there are 3 regions. I'll take this yellow color curve for VB is equal to 0.8 volt. So I'll add a cursor to this point at this point. So you can right click and click on cursor. You can left click and adjust the cursor here. And what is the voltage at this point? So I can refer here. It is 322 millivolt or 0.3 volt. So less than 0.3 volt, the device is in saturation region. Greater than 0.3 volt, the device is in active region, provided VBE is 0.8 volt. Similarly, you can verify for different VBEs when the transistor will enter saturation region. And you can see here, I'll just drag it somewhere here. Please see the green color. So green color, Y value is 174 microampere. If you compare this with other values, red, blue and yellow, red, blue and yellow IC, for red color curve it is 7.9 milliampere, for blue color curve it is 45.19 milliampere, and for yellow color curve it is 162.71 milliampere. Whereas for green color curve it is only 174 microampere. That means the device is in off state. So if the region between this red color curve and the x-axis is the cutoff region in which the transistor will be in off state and collector current will be negligible. Once you obtain the characteristics, you can also take a print of this or you can save it as a PDF file. I'll just move the cursor to the leftmost corner. To save it to the PDF file, or to take the print, just go to file, click on print. If the printer is connected, you'll get the print. Otherwise you can see the print preview as well. So this is the print preview. You can click on print here, and a dialog box will open here. Select print to PDF. If PDF writer is not available or is not installed in your system, you can even save the file as XPS document as well. So I have a print to PDF, so I'll click on print to PDF and I'll click on OK. It is asking me to give a name to this file. I'll say output characteristics. I'm storing it on my desktop. I'll click on save. So the file is created. I'll show it to you on my desktop. This file is created. If I open, I'll get the output characteristics. And if you had observed, on the white background, these green color the blue this green color or yellow color is not visible much. Suppose you want to change the uh, color of the curve, you can do it. For that, I'll have to just switch off the cursor. I'll freeze the cursor, otherwise it will not allow me to right click. Then I'll select a curve, then right click, and you can go to trace property and you can change the color as well. I'll select orange color. Maybe the line width is very thin. I can make it thicker as well, so I'll make it thick. So I can even change the appearance of the curves. Now I'll go to print preview. This is much better and it is more visible. So this is left to your choice. If you compare the output characteristics with the sample graph that you get from the datasheet, you can note down that the output characteristic curve is plotted, and the base current corresponding to the characteristic is also shown. As you can see here, it is 10 microampere, it is 20 microampere, and so on. However, we did not get that in our graph. So there is one way to obtain what is the current what is the base current that is flowing with respect to this particular curve. To get that information, right click and add one more plot. So one more plot you will get. So just right click, add trace, and this time add base current. So click on OK. So base current is added. So this orange color curve is for VBE is equal to 0.8 volt, and this blue color curve is for VBE is equal to 0.75 volt. So I want to know what is the base current for this blue color curve. So in this base current curve also, you'll have to find out which particular trace is for VBE is equal to 0.7 volt. It is most likely this is also blue in color, so I'll check the trace information. Yes, this is for VBE is equal to 0.75 volt. I'll switch on the cursor. I will place the cursor here. I want to know what is the base current. So come down, please select blue color curve and check for base current, not the collector current. Check for base current. Base current is 256.44 microamp. So I can update the label here. So it is around 255 microamps. To update the label, I'll have to disable the cursor. I'll freeze the cursor. I'll double click on that. I'll put a comma. I'll write IB is equal to 255 microampere. Click on OK. I can place it on this. Yes. Similarly, you can get the different values, or you can get the base current values for different traces. This completes the simulation. Well, static or DC characteristics of BJT is used to design DC biasing circuits. That is one part of the story. Normally, BJT is either used as an amplifier or as a switch. If BJT is being used as an amplifier, then only the DC or the static characteristics what we obtained so far is not sufficient to design the circuit. We should also know how the device behaves for different AC signal. That is what we call as small signal analysis. To know how the system behaves, it is modeled as a two-port. We can model the BJT as a two-port system. As the name suggests, a two-port system will have two ports. One is input port and another one is output port. Voltage at the input port is Vi and the current flowing into the input port through the input port to the system is Ii. Similarly, voltage at the output port is V0 and current flowing into the system from the output port is I0, and corresponding Zi and Z0 are corresponding input and output impedances, and the equations that relate these variables are given here. Vi is H11II plus H12 V0 and I0 is H21 II plus H22 V0. Vi is the input variable and I0 is the output variable. And these parameters H1, H11, H12, H21, H22 are defined as short circuit input impedance, open circuit reverse transfer voltage ratio, short circuit forward transfer current ratio, and open circuit output admittance respectively. Let us see how we can model a common emitter NPN BJT transistor as a two-port system. Emitter is common, so we have two ports here. Base emitter is input port, collector emitter is the output port. So we are modeling base emitter as the input port, and the voltage applied to base emitter junction is VBE, that is the input voltage, and the current that is flowing into the system is IB from input port, and collector emitter terminal is the output port, and the voltage that appears across collector emitter terminal is VCE, and IC is the current flowing into the system through from output port, and HIE, HRE, HFE and HOE are the hybrid parameters, and we shall see how all the circuit parameters are related. VBE is the input voltage, that is equal to HIE IB plus HRE VCE, and IC is equal to HFE IB plus HOE VCE. If we compare these two equations with the equations that are given to the generic two-port system, we can compare and say that HIE is nothing but H11, HRE is H12, HFE is H21 and HOE is H22. So we have to determine these four hybrid parameters to know how the transistor behaves for a AC stimulus. And how to determine these values that we shall see in the next slide. We can obtain HIE as ratio of change in VBE to change in IB, because we need these parameters to analyze how the circuit behaves for AC signals. So we are considering change in the voltage, not the DC voltages themselves. And the units for HIE is ohms, so this is input impedance parameter. HRE can be found out by using this equation, delta VBE divided by delta VCE, change in input voltage divided by change in output voltage, keeping IB constant. HFE is it's also called as beta AC or just beta. We have beta DC also. If we take absolute DC values, IC by IB, that ratio is beta DC, whereas beta AC or HFE is change in IC to change in IB when VCE is constant. Similarly, HOE is change in IC by change in VCE when IB is constant, and this has a unit of Siemens. We can obtain HFE and HOE from the output characteristics and HIE and HRE from the input characteristics. But in PSpice, managing with cursors is a little bit difficult, so we can modify the circuit diagram a little bit and we can obtain these four parameters very easily. So if you compare this circuit with the circuit that we used to obtain the static or the DC characteristics, the only change is in the input source. Here we used voltage as the input source, whereas here we shall use current as the input source. So DC current as the input source. Uh, to obtain the hybrid parameters, we should know the DC operating point. This is used for AC analysis. That means a DC biasing circuit should be there already, and that DC biasing circuit will provide bias point. So I'll assume a sample bias point of IB is equal to 15 microampere. Sorry, it's not ampere, it is 15 microampere, and VCE is equal to 5 volt. Depending on the different biasing circuits what you use, you can have different values of VCE and IB. So for those two values, we will find out H parameters. So once again, I am repeating this. IB is 15 microamperes, not 15 ampere. So let us see how to obtain this from PSpice. I have created a separate folder by the name H parameters. Inside this, I am going to create the OrCAD PSpice simulation project. So I'll open Capture CIS Lite. I'll create a new project. I'll go to File, New Project. I'll give a name to the project. I'll give the name as H parameters. I'll select the location. I'll select this folder, H parameters folder that I have created for this project. And I'll select the project type as PSpice analog or mixed A bar D. Click on OK. And I want a blank project. I do not want any template. I'll click on OK. Once again, I'm going to use the same BJT 2N2222. So to place the part, I'll go to the rightmost corner and click on place the part. I'll select bipolar library and search for Q2N2222. This Q prefix is standard in the PSpice to indicate a bipolar junction transistor. The name of the transistor is 2N2222. Then I need one DC voltage source, so that I'll get from the source library, and one DC current source. So IDC is the current source that I'll use it in the input side. Please see that the arrow mark is reversed. So I'll press on R before placing to change the orientation. So current should be going into the port, input port. Next, I need a DC voltage source. So VDC. This I will use as VCE. Apart from these components, I also need one reference node. So I'll add a ground reference, 0 bar cap sim, click on OK, place it here, and using place wire, I will connect all the components. I'll do it offline to save. The circuit is complete. Now let us apply appropriate values for the currents and the voltages. This is base current, so I'll rename it as IB, and I have to apply 15 microampere or any other given DC operating condition. So here, for example, I have taken 15 microampere. You can just type 15. U stands for micro, or you can just type E minus 6. That is also into 10 power minus 6. One and the same. I'll enter U. So this is 15 microamperes, and I have assumed VCE as 5 volt. So I'll rename this as VCE, and its value is 5 volt DC. Okay, let us first evaluate what is HIE. HIE is nothing but delta VBE divided by delta IB. Change in VBE by change in IB. So we can tell the OrCAD PSpice to automatically vary the input and the outputs and note down what is the ratio, and that variation must be very very small. So to get HIE, I have to vary IB, this is the input and this is the output. All the ratios have output divided by input format, so I'll have to vary the input and the output is variation in VBE. So I'll create the simulation profile. So I'll click on new simulation profile. I'll give the name as HIE itself. You can give any other name. Click on create. This time the analysis type must be bias point analysis. And here we have an option to calculate small signal DC gain or transfer function. We need not calculate only gain. We can also find out any other transfer function. We'll have to just indicate which is input and which is output. To calculate HIE, I have to always vary the denominator and note down the variation in the numerator. So denominator is IB, so that is acting as input source. So the name of the input source IB is IB only, so I'll give IB. And what is the output variable? So the output variable is VBE, so that is voltage of base terminal, because emitter is grounded, it is always measured with respect to the ground. So I'll enter voltage of base terminal. The output variable is voltage of base terminal of the transistor. So how to enter V of the transistor part reference is Q1 and use colon and type B for base. So this means voltage of base terminal of transistor Q1, V of Q1 colon B. Click on apply, click on OK, and then click on run. The simulation output window opens, but there is nothing to plot here. You can just close it, it's not required. The ratio HIE will be available in a text file. You just go to PSpice and click on view output file. This opens a .out file. This will have report of the simulation. This will also have bias point analysis report, node voltages, node current through the devices, and it will also have transfer function. So just browse and search for a section where it says small signal characteristics. In the small signal characteristics we have V. This is the internal representation for the base terminal node. V of base to emitter. Emitter is grounded because of this always voltages are measured with respect to emitter terminal. So it is voltage of base emitter terminal divided by change in input current. So that is 1.899 into 10 power 3. So HIE is 1899 ohms. So it is very easy to determine with this procedure. So I found out what is HIE, 1.899 kilo ohm. So let us calculate next parameter, that is HRE. How to calculate HRE? Keeping IB constant, I have to vary VCE and note down what is the variation in VBE. So collector to emitter voltage is the input and output is change in VBE. Then I'll get HRE. Normally HRE will be very very less. So let us create a new simulation profile and I'll name this as HRE. Click on create. Analysis type is bias point analysis. Enable calculate small signal DC gain or transfer function. Input source is VCE, denominator VCE, that we can enter directly. And output variable is voltage of base terminal of transistor Q1 colon B. Click on apply, click on OK, click on run simulation. Once the simulation is run, Okay, this is no longer required. Just go to PSpice and click on view output file. Browse and search where you have small signal characteristics. It is present here. VBE delta VBE by delta VCE is 2.85 into 10 power minus 10. As I said earlier, this is a very negligible value, and we found out what is the value for HRE. Just close this. Let us quickly calculate the other two parameters. HFE. How to find HFE? Delta IC by delta IB. Denominator is IB. So input is IB, output is change in IC. So I'll create one more profile. I'll say HFE. Click on create. Once again, same analysis type is bias point. Enable calculation. Calculate small signal DC gain. Input is this time IB. And output variable is IC or current flowing through the transistor Q1's collector terminal. So instead of V, this time we have entered I. I stands for current. Current flowing through collector terminal of transistor Q1 is the meaning of this. Click on apply, click on OK, run it. Okay, simulation is complete. Now you can open the file, view output file. Please note down whether you are opening the correct file or not. This is the simulation profile name .out. So again browse, and okay, there is an error here. Okay, there is an error here. I cannot give a small change. I cannot directly give IB here because this is not a voltage uh, source, so you may get errors. So I'll give it anyway, it is base current, so I'll give it as I of Q1 colon B. Click on apply, click on OK, run the simulation. Click on select calculate small signal DC gain. Input source name is IB, this is the input, and the output variable is the collector current. However, I cannot enter collector current directly because the parameter what I am going to enter must be of an independent source. So collector current is nothing but current flowing out of this voltage source VCE. So instead of entering collector current here, I'll enter it as current flowing through VCE, voltage source VCE1 and the same. So I'll enter I of VCE. Click on apply, click on OK, run this. Okay, we can open the file, search for small signal characteristics, and IC by IB, this is HFE, is 1.834 into 10 power 2 or 183.4. You can ignore the minus sign, that is only the direction of the current, that is not significant. So HFE is 183.4. Similarly, we'll calculate the last parameter. I'll close this. Last parameter is HOE. We can calculate HOE as delta IC by delta VCE. So I'll have to change VCE and note down change in IC. So I'll create a new simulation profile, HOE. So I'll select bias point, enable calculate small signal DC gain or transfer function. The parameter that is to be changed is the denominator, that is VCE. And the output to be noted is current, collector current, or current flowing out of voltage source VCE, which is one and the same, I of VCE. Click on apply, click on OK, run the simulation. Okay, simulation is done. This is not required. I'll open the output file, browse the report, go to the small signal characteristics. Again, ignore minus sign. So the value is 32 microsiemens. 3.233 into 10 power minus 5 is nothing but 32.33 microsiemens is the HOE of this particular transistor for the given biasing condition. IB is equal to 15 microampere and VCE is equal to 5 volt. If you change IB value and VCE value, then you may get different H parameters accordingly. This completes. Thank you.